Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Welcome back to another episode on Manifesting Through Motherhood. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. There are always new listeners, new downloads, and wherever you are in the world, please reach out to me, come and follow me on the socials. Let me know and where you are listening from. So today we are looking at our brain. Your brain isn't broken, it's trying to protect you. Have you ever noticed how one tiny comment can ruin your whole day? Or how you can convince yourself something bad is going to happen, even though there's no evidence? That's not because you're negative, it's because your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. So today, I want to introduce you to a tiny part of your brain that quietly runs the show more than you probably realise: the amygdala. Your brain has two jobs. Your brain isn't designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, that meant spotting predators. Today, it spots difficult emails, social media, money worries, judgment, that awkward conversation replaying in your head at 2 a.m. I've done this. To your brain, stress is stress. And the amygdala doesn't know the difference between a lion and an Instagram comment. So let's meet your amygdala. The amygdala is your brain's alarm system. When it thinks you're under threat, it constantly presses the panic button. Your heart races, your breathing changes, your muscles tense, you start imagining worst case scenarios. And that's why you sometimes react before you've even had a chance to think, because your body has already decided you're in danger. And then your logical brain arrives. The amazing thing is, a different part of your brain, prefrontal cortex, helps you think logically, solve problems and make decisions. When you're calm, this part of your brain works brilliantly. When your amygdala is in full panic mode, logic takes a backseat. And that's why you say things you don't mean. That's why you overthink, why you spiral, why you can't make simple decisions when you're stressed. And why does this matter for manifesting? This is where I think manifestation gets misunderstood. People think they need to force positive thoughts. But if your nervous system believes you're unsafe, your brain keeps scanning for danger. You'll notice problems instead of possibilities. That's not because manifestation isn't working. It's because your survival brain is louder than your creative brain. And manifestation isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about creating enough safety that your brain can stop scanning for threats and start noticing opportunities. Social media have so many threats for us because we are constantly comparing, that comparatinitis. We are constantly looking. We didn't have that years ago, but we've got every single, whatever social media platform that you've got, we can look on 5 different platforms. We could receive a message, a voice note, a comment, and if we see a negative comment, my stomach goes on like high alert. I can't cope with it because I'm like, what's this? Like, why would somebody say that? Or, but we've got to realise like they could be on the same high alert. So we've just got to sometimes, I can jump completely into this. My brain is like 100 miles an hour. But I'm lucky to know a little bit more about the brain. I've studied the brain. I've done a lot of health and fitness over the years and how it works. And we all know exercise can boost our endorphins and can stabilise us a little bit. And exercise does so many wonderful things, especially for mental health, to rebalance us. So it's really, we look at our health, but we don't always look at our brain health. We always talk about mental health, but but what does it mean to have mental health? It's to have that really good, healthy, just every day doesn't have to be perfect, but if we can we can manage mental health. We're all struggling. So I struggle with pain and it can affect my mind, but I get it. I've got a good balance now, and I know when I'm slipping, or I know when things are feeling a little bit off. So I write things down, or I maybe talk to friends, or do some counselling, because our brain goes into flight mode straight away and we can just spiral. So we just need to listen to our brains a little bit, because not every thought deserves your attention. Some thoughts are messages, others are alarms. So ask yourself, is this my intuition? Or is this my amygdala trying to keep me safe? Because that's what we want it to do. That one question can change everything. We all are pretty steady-headed, men and women, if you are listening to this, we are pretty, mature, and we know what we're doing. So we kind of can compare what's right and what's wrong. But if we're in flight mode and something's happened that day, we can add things on throughout the day and things can just keep spiraling and spiraling. So I think we need some of our own responsibility, don't we, of how we manage things, because we can only do so many different scenarios where we keep going to flight mode. And actually this is for me, and this is what I've done in my talk therapy in the past, is high potential worry. I always worry if this happens, and especially if you've got SEN children and children in general, you worry the most, and you go, well, what if this happens? There's no point doing that, because straight away my amygdala it jumps in, and then I forget about the other side of my brain, the brain that is a sensible side of my brain. But my brain, I'm there to protect me, my worries, and I'm a parent. We're all in this together. We all know that feeling. Sometimes your brain isn't telling you the truth. It's telling you its favourite prediction. Its predictions aren't facts. So how to calm the alarm? When you feel like you're spiralling, slow your breathing, go for a walk. I do a bit of EFT tapping, put your phone down, get outside, move your body, and ask yourself, am I actually in danger right now? I always do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, where I count back and really look at it. Because when your body feels safe, your brain starts thinking differently. We shouldn't always react. I've stopped reacting as much. Then you notice different opportunities. And that's where confidence, intuition, and manifestation begin to work together. Maybe the goal isn't to silence your brain. Maybe it's to understand it. Because once you realise your amygdala is trying to protect you, not to sabotage you, you stop fighting yourself. You start working with your brain instead of against it. And that's when life becomes to feel a lot lighter. Your mind is always listening. The question is, which part of your brain are you letting lead the conversation? Your brain loves familiarity. There's something else that's fascinating about the brain. Your brain doesn't necessarily want you to be successful. It just wants you to be familiar. That's why we have those days where we're in that main character energy, and then we'll have a doubtful week, and we're like, and then we jump back into main character energy. I do this all the time because my brain just wants me to calm down, have a bit, be a bit familiar with my surroundings. Because if we was in that main character energy all the time, we'd be in flight mode. We'd be like bang, bang, bang all the time. We don't want that. We just want, sometimes our brain can be chuck us to the highest heights, and then because we have those dopamine fixes, and then we come straight back down, our brains are like, something wrong, what's happened, what have I done? We can just spiral. We all know that feeling. And even if that familiar place isn't making you happy, think about it. If you spent years doubting yourself, people pleasing, or expecting things to go wrong, your brain starts treating that as normal. When you suddenly decide, I'm going to start the business, I'm going to charge more, I'm going to launch the podcast, I'm going to believe in myself, your brain almost pulls the handbrake. Not because you're making the wrong decision, because you're stepping into the unknown. And to your survival brain, unknown can feel unsafe. And that's why growth often feels uncomfortable. Not because you're failing, because you're expanding beyond what your brain recognises as familiar. Your brain does look for proof. Your brain is constantly collecting evidence. If you woke up saying, nothing ever works out for me, guess what your brain spends the whole day doing? Finding proof. You missed a compliment, you ignore the opportunity, you only notice a setback. But imagine waking up asking, what if today surprises me? What if something good happens today? What opportunities will I notice today? And suddenly your brain starts filtering differently. The opportunities were probably always there. You've just changed what you're looking for. And that's one of the reasons gratitude can feel so powerful. Not because it's magic, but because it changes where your attention goes. So let's look at manifestation and your brain's filter. People often ask me why manifestation seems to work for some people. One reason is something which I've covered on another episode, I think it was the last episode, is the RAS system, the Reticular Activating System. I've done 2 episodes on this. Think of it as like a filter to your brain. Millions of bits of information are coming at you every second. Your brain has to decide what matters. And have you ever decided you wanted a certain car and suddenly you see that car everywhere? We do that all the time. They were always there. You just weren't looking. The same thing happens with opportunities. If you're constantly telling yourself there aren't any opportunities, your brain just filters them out. But if you start asking, where are the opportunities today? Your brain starts spotting them. Things start coming through. Manifestation isn't just about attracting, it's also about noticing what has been there all along. And then you start feeling excited because all your manifestations start coming through. Opportunities, like messages, random things will start happening. So I want you to do a simple exercise. I want you to try it this week. So when your brain starts to spiral, don't argue with it. Just become curious and ask yourself, what evidence do I actually have? What story am I telling myself? And would I say this to my best friend? And most of the time, you realise you're predicting the future rather than living in the present. So let's look at some top tips to train your brain. If you want to work with your brain instead of against it, here are a few habits that make a real difference. Start your day without picking up your phone straight away. Spend 5 minutes visualising how you want to feel your day, how you want it to flow, not just what you want to achieve. Celebrate tiny wins. Your brain actually loves repetition, so teach it to notice progress. Protect your energy. Not every conversation deserves access to your nervous system. Rest isn't laziness. Your brain processes, repairs, and learns when you slow down. So I'm going to leave you with this. You don't have to believe every thought that pops in your head. Your brain creates thousands of thoughts every single day. Some are helpful, some are protective, some are simply old habits. The real power comes when you stop automatically believing them all. Because the moment you realise, I am not my thoughts, I can choose where I place my attention, everything begins to change. Maybe manifestation isn't about becoming someone different. Maybe it's about creating enough safety that the real you can shine. Your brain has always been trying to protect you. Now it's your turn to gently teach it that you're safe to grow. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at what you've been capable of all along. Isn't it powerful that we can look at our brains and how it can trick us? Mine tricks me all the times. The things that I've uncovered doing counselling and talk therapy it's because of my brain. And that's come to my conclusion of, have I got ADHD? Is this what's going on? My brain works completely different to a lot of people. But I know a lot of you guys that listen to this and that have ADHD will get a lot of what I'm saying. Because I feel like if you're into manifesting and self-development, you are a very self-aware individual. You are very receptive. You are very vulnerable. You are in awe of gratitude. We are constantly growing. Every day we are learning. It might be slower than other, people's growth. But this is why we do self-improvement. That's why I love life coaching, because it's just, we need to do it. We can't stay the same as when we are, I'm 44 now. I can't be the same as 20. It wouldn't match my 44-year-old wisdom and parenting. I can't act the way I did at 20 and my views on life. I wasn't a parent at 20, late 20s I were. So everything I need to know, I need to protect my child. I need to know more about life and understanding, and to be able to put those skills on my son and also influence people like you. I'm not telling you to follow everything that I do, but if you can pick things up from this, then this is what I do. This is what I do for work. This is part of me. I'm doing it without realising it. I'm doing it in my salon. I'm constantly supporting women going through crises or just going through everyday things. And I learn daily about myself. Things happen without my control on a daily basis. And I've got to be careful my brain don't jump into flight mode. It does for seconds. But I've right, Linz, what have I learned? What's hypothetical? What's real? What's not real? What am I talking about? Because we can start to create a brand new story about something. And you know what? When things happen in our business, sometimes it's a start reminder. Maybe things have been flowing really good for us for a while. Maybe we needed a little bit of a wake-up call. That's what I think, because sometimes we can get big-headed. We can be a bit more complacent with things. Sometimes we just think, everybody's vibing at our level. We're pleasing everybody, but something can happen where we're like, wow, I didn't expect that today. But you know what? It's how we deal with it. We can deal with it with an attack, or we can just remember we're good, we're positive, we're good at our businesses, we're good at life, and then we can deal with it so much differently, can't we? So anyway, I hope that helped you today and think about it, especially a lot of you, busy mums are going to be off all the summer. You're going to have a lot going on. You're going to have the children off. You're going to be trying to work, do this, that and the other. We're going to be going on holiday, going on flights. Everything's going to be up in the air. So if you can take something from this, then so be it. So anyway, I'm going to go now and have a great day, whatever you're doing. And yeah, take care and happy manifesting. See you later. If you're feeling called to go deeper, to align more, create more, and really step into that next version of you, you'll find everything you need in my link tree. From my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood, to powerful resources and ways we can work together. It's all there waiting for you. Come and find me on Instagram or Facebook. I love hearing what landed with you. Don't forget to follow the podcast, and if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who is on their own journey too. And happy manifesting.